It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Kyle.
It's the most misleading videos on the internet.
Yeah.
And I say that as the internet containing videos like loose change from 9/11. I would argue tasty cooking videos more misleading.
And Steve.
So this is something that I know is near and dear to your heart as of, I believe, 6-8 months ago.
Like literally my heart?
Well, maybe, poor choice of words.
Okay. Oh, okay. Because 6-8 months ago would also be right around the time they were, inside my heart as well.
Right, yeah. I mean, so close to your heart. No, I'm not giving you like a pacemaker or wires.
Good, because I would, no offense, I would prefer one from a medical company.
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
The lovely, the talented Melissa Vaughn, everybody.
That's all we do around here is collect talent. We've made a career for Melissa Vaughn. We've made a career for Kevin and the MacLeods. This beautiful piano work. You've got a lot of time on your hands. You thought about maybe learning an instrument?
No, not at all.
I could see you being a banjo guy.
Now, I'd love to play the guitar. I have a guitar. I just have never learned to play it.
I don't.
But as for me having a lot of time on my hands, you saw when you walked into this house, I do not have a lot of time on my hands.
Well, I mean, in terms of your relative schedule, you do, because you haven't worked the last week.
Yeah, not by choice.
Right.
Let me be very clear. And I have still. This has been the equivalent of. It's been like the worst surprise vacation ever. Because at least if I'm going on vacation, if I'm going to be off for a week, I prep for it in advance, and then I'm gone, and there's typically no issues.
Yeah.
This was a very last-minute surprise vacation, which I obviously hadn't prepped for.
Sure.
And so it's just been a series of email after email after email after phone call after phone call after phone call. If one more person says to me, why can't you guys just do the show from home?
Oh, God.
Well, we technically, yes, we can do the show from home, but you're forgetting the fact that 3 hosts of the show have COVID and are unable to stay awake for more than like 15 minutes at a time.
That obviously doesn't matter.
I
wish you guys would just grind through this, and instead of people being able to go back and enjoy the thousands of hours of back catalog, if they're so inclined, instead complain to make sure that you guys know that you have ruined their morning.
Right.
Because you are not on.
Yeah.
And that happens. I remember when I worked there, or when I was with you guys, the emails would flow in every time there was a vacation, and they were almost identical. It was always, you guys get more vacation than anybody I know. And I knew the number because I was preparing the shows.
Typically,
was like 3 weeks.
Typically 4 weeks.
Okay, it was 4?
And, because we would take... it
was around the week of the 4th of July.
There are certain times of the year, like basically half of the year, we were kind of blacked out. Like we could take vacation, but we choose not to.
Sure.
Because of certain things that are going on, ratings periods and things like that. So we don't take vacation during certain times. So we would take 2 weeks in the summer, 2 weeks at Christmas. Now the 2 in the summer would be separate, so it would be a week week here and a week there, and then at Christmas it's 2 straight weeks. And that's how it is. That's how it's been, at least since I've been there, which has been 12 years. I believe we're eligible for more, but I think that like if you're angry because we get more vacation time than you, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to apologize for it.
You should sacrifice some of that and work.
I mean, if you want more vacation time, you probably deserve it. I'm sure that you're working very hard at your job doing whatever it is. But that's not on me. So talk to your supervisor.
Right.
And, lobby for yourself to get more vacation.
Yeah, but I would also like to point out the idiotic thought that you should go to your boss and say, "Hey, boss, there's some people who really need their bricks laid this week."
Right.
So I would like to sacrifice this week of vacation because there's a handful of people who really would like new bricks.
Yeah.
This week.
I don't.
It's ridiculous. One of the first things you look at when you get a job or a career, it's part of your package, your benefits, is how much time off am I going to get? At what point do I get another week? So this whole thing of, well, you entertain me, dance, monkey, dance, do it more, is so weird to me.
I just like the idea that person is also turning on the TV to watch, Big Bang Theory on ABC, and they're saying, rerun again? Well, I'm going to fire off an angry email to that guy that looks like he's young, but he's really old.
Yeah, listen here, Jim Parsons.
That's it, Jim Parsons.
I appreciate the 10 weeks in a row that have existed, but I demand you call the television network today and tell them you want to come back because I miss my 22 minutes on Tuesday night this week. Just think.
I want to hear algebra jokes.
Before you're that person who leaves a comment the next time Steve has to make that post saying, "Hey, we're off today, we're off this week," type it out, step back and read it. Because if you're that person saying you have too much vacation or...
well, type it out and then instead of sending it to me, send it to your own work email address and sign it like Johnny Smith.
Yeah.
And then read it and think, yeah, that sounds weird.
Yeah, because it's dumb. Because it's really, really dumb for people. And I know the intent is to say, "Oh, man, we miss you guys. We wish you were new today." But it's also like, you guys aren't just airing hit tunes for 4 hours. There's still content.
Yeah, there's still content.
But if it's not brand new content, it's not good enough. And if that brand new content, Steve, as we learned from our friend Stephen Humphrey, was not peak of the mountain new content,
right?
They would also let you know, "Hey, I just figured out, you guys seem like a couple of good guys, and we're all buddies here. That last hour really sucked D." Like, what? No, think about what you're typing and think about how it comes off and why you're typing it, because it's so fascinating to me when people say that. And
also know this: I'm not going to care when I read it, because when I'm not at work, I'm not at work. Especially when I'm on vacation, I am mentally checked out, and I appreciate people listening. It's how I make my living. I'm able to make a living because people turn on a radio and hear the show every morning. But I'm not at your beck and call.
Right.
And when I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation. And that there are a few people, very few limited people in my life that I answer to, and I assure you, you're not one of them.
Right. I mean, when I used to work there, I would occasionally have to send you a message about something related to the show if I was running it that week type of stuff. But I wouldn't answer. I'm not logging onto my work computer or checking my work email if I'm on vacation.
No.
I'm not being paid. It doesn't make sense to do that. So just, again, think about what you're doing before you send that message. And
like in the grand scope of things, what my job is and what, say, you do every day. Like, we both work for a certain amount of time every day. We earn a paycheck from that. We have days off that we then take. Yeah. Like, nutshell, all jobs are pretty much the same.
Sure.
You work, you get paid, you go home.
Yep.
I'm not sending you a message saying, well, actually, I normally do send you messages on every federal holiday. Just say, "Oh, must be nice."
Yeah, well, listen, I use my time off on these federal holidays, these glorious federal holidays. Mm-hmm. Like on President's Day, if you visit my Twitter, you'll see I ranked the top 10 presidents.
Did you?
Yeah.
Who's?
Do you want me to pull it up? I'm gonna have to scroll a little bit.
Actually, no. Nope. No, don't. I don't even know why I was about to ask you.
I had a few upsets on the top 10.
Really?
Are you sure?
Were they seeded?
Well, I did 10 through 1. I mean, what other way are you going to do a ranking in
Right, but I mean, you said upsets, meaning like...
Well, there's presidents in my top 10 that a lot of people...
Give me 3 of them.
You want...
Just
do you
3
want 3
off the top of your head.
Okay, it's going to be a minute. I'm using.
Well, if you're such a fan of them, you should be able to come up with 3 out
listen,
of 10.
I didn't throw
off the
this,
top of your head.
This is a list.
Come on,
from
this is
February.
ridiculous.
I didn't throw it out
Right, but
willy-nilly, Steve.
Who's your favorite football team?
The Los Angeles Rams.
See, you came up with it just like that. You should
Yeah,
you should be able to know your presidents also.
I figure I'll celebrate all the holidays maybe on Columbus Day. Or Indigenous Peoples Day. Maybe I'll start.
I don't know if I would have gone with Columbus Day. As the
maybe
example.
I'll recap the history of him gloriously founding America. Handing out meals to all the indigenous people. If my history book from high school is
he
correct.
gave out turkey, stuffing, and mashed potatoes because it was right around Thanksgiving.
Nice man.
Yeah.
Nice man.
Yeah.
Underrated, a lot of people say. If you look at,
I don't know.
If you read a lot of the internet.
Not sure.
Oh, Steve, lucky for you, I filibustered long enough. I have my top 10.
I noticed you're using your phone. Why aren't you using the idea pad?
Let me see if the idea pad's updated yet. Hey, we got the old bluebird. It's in the back.
Oh, log in.
Oh, good.
Look at that. You made it.
I'm sure it still has an update or two.
No, it looks like you're...
So, Steve, I did preface my ranking, and I'm glad you brought this up 2 months after the fact. I did preface my ranking by saying that since I minored in political science from 2005 to 2010, this list is the gospel.
Sure.
And it will not be subject to discussion or debate.
No, yeah.
So I will allow such responses as, or ah, and an occasional but limited, ooh.
How about a used very sparingly?
Sure.
You don't say.
I like that. Okay. I'll let you dole them out. So I'll just give a few. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole top 10.
Of course not.
And this one, he snuck into the top 10. Okay. Snuck in, Steve. Okay. One you wouldn't think of in a million years.
MVB.
Come on.
Marty Van Buren.
He is one of the 5 worst. Okay.
Maybe on your list.
Fun fact. Okay. And I know my friend Chris, who we reference this more often than the descendants of Martin Van Buren's own family. He was nicknamed Martin Van Ruin because he was so bad.
Really?
Yeah.
That's harsh. I mean, for that time,
very
it was
bad.
like, it was like the worst slur that you could
pretty
possibly.
much insulted his family and his lineage.
Martin Van Ruin.
Marty Van Ruin. Number 10, Steve, sneak it in. James Polk.
Oh, he got stuck in the bathtub, right? No, that was Taft.
That's Taft. That's Taft. Yep. The Taft, the 2-term president who I believe needed the biggest casket at that time that was made, especially for a president. He reduced taxes, Steve. He avoided war with Britain, which was key.
I thought you were just going to give the names.
It's just a quick one. He was an Andrew Jackson type. Now, Andrew Jackson gets a lot of guff. Because Andrew Jackson, Steve, slaughtered a lot of Native Americans. And that's not funny.
That's not a good look.
But a lot of his policy was well-natured and was successful. Neither here nor there. Number 7. Okay, I'm just going to go through 3 or 4 or 10.
I like the method of going from 10 to 7, even though you're still going to do all 10. So you just kind of loop back around at some point.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those jump around.
So it's 10, 7, 4, 1, then maybe a 9, a 3.
It's a Mad Lib fill in the blank game today. Dwight Eisenhower. And I think I'm more infatuated with Dwight than a lot of people. But the number one reason, Steve, he makes my top 10, the second best presidential slogan ever. Okay? I like Ike.
That's good. Good slogan.
Only behind Tippecanoe and Tyler, too.
That is a good one.
That's a great
one. What did
one.
that mean again?
But most importantly, he established the highways.
Tippecanoe was like a town or something.
Yeah, so Tyler was the candidate.
Something? I don't care. Moving on.
Let's quickly jump to the top 3. Number 3. Because the top 2, and I think you would agree.
Just get to it.
The top 2 are the same on everybody's list, right?
Of course I agree. Yeah.
I mean, who would yours be? This is important that we're going over this 2 months again. 2 months after President's Day.
Yeah.
Number 3, Thomas Jefferson.
TJ.
A lot of people didn't like him as president. He's mostly remembered for his pre-presidential stuff regarding the Declaration.
Yeah.
But states' rights, man, he was all about the, you know what? Not going to get into it. Number 1, Honest Abe. Okay, chopped down the cherry tree. Yeah. Never told a lie. believe I'm mixing those with George Washington.
Pretty sure you are. Maybe reflex is a little slow.
That's true. He did not. I'll tell you this for certain. Abe Lincoln did not have eyes in the back of his head.
Just bullets.
Because if he did, one of those eyes would have been shot out by a pistol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's just a little indulgence that I did on President's Day. So stay tuned for what's the next. Because I'm not going to do like Memorial Day or the 4th of July because everybody gets those. But what's
so
the
you
next?
just want your elitist, elitist holidays.
Well, I feel like I need to justify them after all the grief I've been given by you, and you know my brother's given me grief too about having these federal holidays. So I'd really like to make sure I'm putting.
What's your
them
brother?
good
What
to
he
use.
doesn't get holidays off too?
Not the
Isn't he
federal
like a banker
ones.
or something.
He's definitely not getting the federal holidays like I get off, like Flag Day and Veterans Day,
Arbor Day.
Yeah, I'm going to go plant a few trees on Arbor Day. So I don't know what the next one is, but I'll be doing something on my social media to justify my time off to make sure everybody knows that I'm not wasting that time.
I would like a live stream of you just reading, and it has to be, if it's Arbor Day, it has to be the thickest book you can find about trees.
Well, what I was going to do, I'm glad I didn't. I think it was going to come off as insensitive. I was going to call like 5 random numbers in my phone on Martin Luther King Day and recite I Have a Dream.
Yeah, I don't know if that would have gone over that well. Probably a good idea to...
Well, I don't think there's anything insensitive about it, but I think it would have... it would have been quite shocking if my...
just random people.
If my uncle answered the phone and in the background, because... Whenever you hear that speech, you hear the audio of it, from not microphone audio, but like a recording from nearby.
Yeah.
So I would have to leave my phone probably 10 to 12 feet away.
Sure. To get
the same ambiance and then just start loudly saying the I Have a Dream speech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
probably best to let that one lie.
I had an idea. I didn't want to get too far removed from your cohorts and their illness that they're all fighting. I had an idea yesterday, but lacked the energy and wherewithal to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to Photoshop because as we've made light for quite a while on this podcast about how you work with monkeys who fling feces at each other.
Yeah.
I was going to try to find an image from the movie Outbreak from the 80s starring Dustin Hoffman and
Photoshop
and monkeys and Photoshop their faces on the monkeys, but I didn't think there was a poster with multiple monkeys on it, and then the term outbreak, because obviously it's a COVID outbreak, right?
Sure, yeah.
Laughs abound.
Yeah. Hilarious.
But I just wanted to let you know I had that thought.
Okay.
So if somebody out there...
I'll pass the sentiments along to the cohorts. It's been a weird week.
Yeah.
Definitely a strange week. Everyone, I believe, is going to be back in the studio on Tuesday. I have opted to not do that.
Okay.
Seeing as how I'm just a couple days away from my second shot and
going to be staying home,
and how 3 people there have COVID. I would rather not get it.
Sure.
I've made it this far. I'd be real bummed if I got it. Just days before.
Right. That was part of the reason that we recorded from virtually last week.
Yeah.
It's because I was literally days away from my second shot.
Mm-hmm. And I was waiting on results for like 2 tests that I am actually probably 3 tests because I got tested on Friday, I got tested on Monday, I got tested on Tuesday.
Now, did you go to the same spot?
No, 3 separate spots.
Because I was going to, I didn't think, I thought, if you went to the same spot, at some point the person like, oh God,
here he is
He's
again.
here again. And I'm at a loss for what's the term where you always think you're sick. Hypochondriac.
Hypochondriac. Yeah.
Oh God, the COVID hypochondriac's here.
Yeah. No,
and you'd be getting weird looks from the people who stick the swab in your nose.
Yeah, 3 different places over the span of like 3 or 4 days, and all negative. That's good.
Very good. Good for
you
and the family.
The one I do not trust at all because the woman just kind of flung the test at me and she's like, "Oh, you done this before?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I just put it in your nose for a couple seconds." I was like, okay. So luckily the other 2 that were more of a professional manner.
Right. Now, while we discuss, the projects you've been doing, I don't know if you've been to our email, but you may want to head there. We have another piece of music that we need to play.
Do we?
From our friend Tony Rodabaugh.
Oh, Tony. Tony in Lansing.
Who took my idea, or our idea that we had a while ago, when he made our new intro song using Mr. Sandman as the basis, and he did some form of my request for Jeep Man for Steve. So, because I have questions, because you've been so hyper-focused this week. Mm-hmm. I've seen pictures on your social media that you can find.
By the way, did you see the argument that somebody tried to start with me yesterday?
God, no. Why?
I don't even know. I still don't know what they were trying to say, but then they got mad at me for cursing at them, so I cursed at them repeatedly.
Oh, my God. And I don't understand.
Yeah.
People like you're on somebody else's social media page, whatever. It's not worth it.
It's like you're the one following me, man.
Yeah. I think he probably fired off an email earlier that week regarding you guys having too much vacation. So I'm not too surprised that happened.
All right, so I got this song from Tony. Do you want me to play it now? Do you want me to? Do you still have more to set up before I do? Should I just let it rip?
Well, I haven't listened to it, so okay. I don't know. But because I was just going to say, you've been so focused on these home projects that we haven't really got an update, Steve, on how the Comanche's been going.
No. Okay. Well, here I'm assuming that this will be like an intro, so I'm gonna just let it rip. Jeep, 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 Jeep. I love it already. Jeep, 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 Jeep. Jeep, 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 second chance Jeeps with Steve, Jeeps with Steve, Willys, Wrangler, and Cherokee, introduced in the 40s, MASH had them on your TV, but MASH isn't Steve, isn't Steve, CJMA and MB, to Gladiator Mojave, here is Mr. Steve, Jeeps with Steve. Wow, he sent lyrics and everything. Tony, amazing.
That is beautiful.
He mentioned, all of the different models, the Willys, the Wrangler, the Cherokee, the TV show MASH, the CJ, the MA, the MB, the Gladiator, the Mojave.
I didn't know what those were.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if there was some code from... Yep. Kind of a crossover from the radio show, because as I talked about, I don't listen. I'm not a fan of the production, and I didn't know if I missed something. But those are just Jeep.
Yeah, it's
letters.
all different models of Jeeps.
Oh boy, that's cute. So Steve, I noticed something when I walked in that I just wanted to see if maybe you had run into a little bit of fatigue or something else, because I noticed the last update we got on the Jeep Comanche project, Comanche 2019 through 2020 never.
2021, I will drive it. I will drive it this year. This calendar year.
I saw it this morning. I'll take those odds.
It's got a little way to go.
As you referred to me, when I made a joke regarding a bungee cord, you said, that's how the gas tank is being held right now.
It is currently being held in, but, not a bungee cord, like a ratchet strap.
Okay. Same idea.
Yeah, exactly.
So
just not as bouncy.
So where are we now? Because when I walked in, I saw the bed, the back half of the Comanche that we talked about a month or 6 weeks ago. You brought home from Illinois.
Illinois,
Illinois.
Probably a month ago at this point.
And I'd seen it once or twice. Whenever you have the garage open, when I pull in, I'll wander in there, we'll chat, and I'll kind of eyeball the Jeep with my expertise.
Mm-hmm.
The new bed is still upright.
It is.
Next to the Comanche.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. Now, granted, I'm not saying this accusatory because I don't know anything.
Oh, man, now we're going to get a copyright strike.
This is funny because 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Hold on, I gotta mark that. So, look, if things sound weird right now, it's because Lizzo just randomly started playing. And we had to edit that out because I think enough of it played where we'd get a copyright.
So we 2 weeks ago, you mentioned to me I think that was our best produced episode ever. Like we nailed the tech stuff, the audio cues,
everything was
and
perfect.
Then we do one virtual, we come back and we're banging to Lizzo
I love that song, by the way.
In minute, like, 25.
Oh, it's an amazing song. God, I love that song so much.
So the Comanche bed is still in its upright, Steve. So let me ask you, have you run into a little bit of a fatigue? Were you just tired of all the rust repair? What's going on with the Comanche? Where are we at?
I don't really know. For a while, it was because it was so damn cold, and I just didn't want to work on it in the garage. Now I'm at a point where the bed is going to go back on as soon as I get some. I have to spray the bottom of the bed with like a rubberized undercoating type stuff because there's no rust on it. So I want to keep it rust free. So I want to coat it with everything. That stuff is showing up today.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm going to get to it this weekend, but hopefully next weekend I'll get to that.
Sure. Then
the bed goes back on, and then things kind of become normal again out in the garage.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a lot. It's a mountain that I'm standing in front of,
right?
Looking up
by yourself. It's not like you're working at a shop or anything.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff, like you talked about with the welding and whatnot, is brand new to you.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd check in. I like to get occasional check-ins on how you're doing, where you're at, what's the progress.
Sure.
So you're telling me this calendar year, your hope is still
this calendar year. I will pull up in your driveway out of the blue, beep the horn. Keep beeping until you come to the door.
I was going to say, do I have to come outside? Or
No, just come to the door. Okay. Open the door. Give me a wave. And then I'm going to throw it in reverse, grind through a couple gears, and pull on out of the driveway. That will happen. Mark my words. Mark my words.
Here's my thought. If it's not done by, I would say, October, and that hasn't happened yet in the October, I don't think it's going to happen this year. Because the weather starts to change.
Weather will get cold.
Next thing I know, you're worried. You've got
the holidays coming up.
You've got 3 weeks that you're worried about the work. You got the charity thing you guys do there, and all this stuff. Where if it's not done by October, I'm comfortable saying
guaranteed. Wow, that it happens this year. In honesty, the issue I've run into the last month or so is home stuff. Home renovations. Okay. Backsplash took me 3 weekends. Floor now I'm 1 full day into it. Still have at least another full day. Our buddy Rusty stopping by on Tuesday is going to start painting for us because surprisingly I decided no, that's the one thing I can't do. That's where I draw the line.
Paint the cupboards.
Paint the cabinets, paint the kitchen. Which is probably the one thing that I am most qualified to do. Not to take anything away from people who do that professionally. I know that that's an art form.
It's a lot of work.
But yeah, exactly. That's one thing I can do and make it look half decent.
Sure.
The floor, the backsplash, it looks fine.
Yeah.
I notice all the little imperfections.
You always do. It's funny because let me tell you about my experience very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote 2 checks. And
maybe picked out a color or two.
It's done. It's been done.
Yeah. Well, with the painting, that's all I'm doing. Cutting Rusty a check or sending a Venmo.
I have to do like some deck replacement stuff here very soon.
Yeah. Cutting a check?
Dreading it? No, because I'm not doing the whole thing.
You doing deck boards? What are you doing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what else would you use?
No, I didn't know.
Is that what normal people like? I'm not doing something weird, am I?
No. Okay. I just didn't know what you said. You were doing some deck stuff. I didn't know
like
if
the boards. A lot of them
go composite.
Do
the composite.
I'm not doing the whole.
Got to go composite.
I'm not going composite.
The deck's not that big. It would take you an afternoon.
It wraps around the side of the house.
What side?
It goes from if I walk out my slider from my dining room area, and I have the main deck.
Yeah.
I have 2 staircases down to the ground. And I wraps all the way around to the garage door.
Does it really?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not doing.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever actually been out on that deck. I've only been in your backyard like 2 times probably.
I briefly considered.
You sure?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I'll text Katie.
See if she can snap a picture and send it to us because I think you might be confused.
I briefly considered paying someone to just rebuild my whole deck this year.
Yeah. But I got a deck guy.
I'm not paying $10,000 plus for a deck.
Half.
For that size deck? Again, let me tell you. Wraps around the side. I know you don't believe it.
I think you need to double check. I really do.
That's true. That's very true.
If you could, just text Katie.
Yeah. Hang on. All right, now I just wait.
I might pull up your house on Zillow or something.
Yeah.
Just to check.
Look for the 3D view.
Yeah.
I'm putting it off.
What's your address again?
Oh yeah, let me. I'm putting it off. So to see you this past week, past month, you're just tackling everything, Steve.
Oh, yeah. I've posted pictures on social media, not because I want the accolades or anything.
Sure.
I don't care about that. I don't know. It's fun to do from time to time.
Sure.
And it bums me out when I see how many people are like, "Oh, you're so lucky that you know how to do that." I'm like, first of all, I don't know how to do that. I had never done a backsplash before.
Sure.
I watched a couple YouTube videos and I figured it out, and I think it turned out all right. Like, there's no.
Did you have the saw? Did you?
No, I borrowed the saw. But everything was like tiles and the mortar and the grout. You just buy at the store. It's not stuff that anybody can do it.
Yeah, I don't know how. So you have to have
the desire. That's the only thing you need is the curiosity to think, I wonder if I could do that. And anybody can have that.
I don't know that that's true. I believe you have to have some general knowledge of tools and the workings of them. Like, if you don't know that you need is it referred to as a wet saw to cut tile,
right?
And you just grab your circular saw and start going to work on it.
But you learn that from
said
YouTube videos or.
But there's still projects around the house that infuriate me. I mean, it took me forever to be able to fix a door that would stick or not close all the way.
Well, that's why I got you that.
You got me the door book.
I mean, someone here at the
that's right, staff
podcast got you door tricks to get them fixed.
I feel like we need to email him and ask for an
Donnie
update.
Doors?
Donnie Doors, because I actually went to the door tricks book recently. Because I have what are they referred to as? Like when they're closet, but they you open them and they kind of fold.
Oh, like the bifold?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can't, they keep rubbing the carpet. I can't figure that out.
Adjust the little thing on the bottom.
He doesn't have a bifold door section.
Oh, Jesus. Donnie Doors.
So does Donnie Doors need to get going on 2.0 of
that
door
book,
tricks?
That book, by the way, was like 100 pages, and I think the first 40 are a table of contents.
And going through it, whoever wrote this for him, because listen, we all know Donnie Doors was the brains behind the operation.
Right.
He wasn't.
So you think Donnie Doors had a ghostwriter?
He wasn't the transcriptor here. Okay, he wasn't the copywriter, but whoever was loves bullet points. Loves them. Everything. It's like 1A, AA, AAA, and then it's like Roman numerals under that. Like, no,
like Roman numeral IX7.
Yeah, I don't need all of this. Just go to a new section.
Yeah,
I didn't even know it was hard to search for what I wanted with that.
Well, I have the digital copy. If you want, I can forward that over to you.
No, I prefer the paper copy.
So you can do
it was a gift.
What is it, a Command F to search? Yeah,
for bifold. I didn't see anything in there, but yeah, it was. I went to Donnie Doors, the well of Donnie Doors.
Yeah,
and for the first time ever, Donnie Doors failed me.
That's awful.
That's very, very sad.
That is a terrible, terrible thing.
So, Steve, you're home for a few weeks.
Yeah.
You've you got all the home projects done. Anything else going on? Any other big plans?
No. This is I got to finish some flooring today, possibly into tomorrow.
Okay.
But in order to do the flooring, I had to rip out all the trim. So I gotta do trim now too. And if I'm gonna do trim, I may as well do those two doors. So I may have to look up Donnie Doors.
Oh my God! So you're just going to be moving?
It's the worst. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing this.
I don't want to put any additional pressure on you.
No.
You've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
You've got a truck bed upright in your garage.
Standing up in my garage.
Okay. You got trim with nails that Evelyn's playing with.
Yeah.
I saw when I walked in.
You know what my wife said? She said, "Oh, we'll just take the old trim down, and then we'll just temporarily put the old stuff back up."
Yeah.
I was like, "We, huh? Will we?"
See, this is how it starts.
So we'll just do that. And then in a few months when we decide that we don't like the old trim anymore, we will then take the old trim down and we will put the new trim back up. Will we? Will we?
This is how it starts. This is carrying drywall downstairs 2.0. That in 3 weeks,
That's why
you're shaking a piece of trim somewhere high over your head while your child's screaming because daddy's yelling and smacking trim against the cement outside in anger.
That's why I said, yeah, okay, sounds good. And every piece of trim I took off, I mean, basically everyone broke anyway, so I'm not going to piece them all back together.
Right.
And right out in the garage. Yeah, I'm gonna put all the old trim back up.
Right back up.
So that way, in a couple of months, like I said, when it's decided that, man, that old golden oak honey color doesn't really look good with the new paint,
Yeah.
then I can rip it all back down again. Yeah, we're probably not going to do that. I've decided I would rather have a project take a month and do it the right way than get it done half-assed in 2 days.
Sure.
So if we live without trim in our laundry room for a week or two,
it's fine.
that is how it is.
That's I would argue that should be the least of your concerns.
Yeah.
I don't want to put additional pressure on you.
Okay.
But I know it's kind of fallen by the wayside. But in just a few weeks, I'm gonna need an update on Christmas Steve.
Of course you are.
We've been talking about it.
Was it April or May?
It was April. I think I may have
push that back a month or so.
Well, we're in April, so it's going to be May.
Okay.
It's going to be 2 weeks.
You're going to have to give me some terminology again about like the bulbs that I need.
Yeah, you get the C5 through the C9s. You're going C5, C7s. Yeah.
Okay.
There are C6s. That's a personal choice. You said you prefer the white light. You don't want the multicolor.
I need to see the bulbs in person.
Okay, you want me to bring over a couple that I got?
Do you have different sizes?
Yeah, so I use a different size on my tree and a different size on my house. I can bring those over for you.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do need to do it.
We're back in it.
I'm still on board. I'm still on board with
I know. I just didn't want, with everything else going on, I didn't want this project because we talked about it. Obviously the best time to start buying is the day after Christmas. The second best time to start buying would be Black Friday. The third best time to start buying is probably May.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, all I have to do is get up on the roof. Yeah. All I have to do is go to the store, buy one of those really long tape measures.
Yeah.
Then come back, because I don't want to be that schmuck that does like 12 feet. Okay, mark it there. Yeah. 12 feet, mark it there.
You need a 25-footer.
Mm-hmm. I need a 50-footer.
You need a 50, but if you're going to get a 50-footer, you need, what's the terminology that those companies use for how long it can go before it, does the fold business?
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure.
But I'm talking about like the rigidity of it.
Before it becomes like a limp noodle.
Yes, because if you're solo up there and you're 50-foot tape
trust
measure,
me, I will be.
Thinking that's climbing up?
No one else in this house, I can assure you, wants any part of this.
Holiday cheer being spread already.
Hey, if I piggyback this, get up there with me?
I'm in. I'm terrified of roofs.
Okay.
But I'm in.
You stay on the lower end.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm absolutely in.
I'll be on the higher end. Because I basically need a perimeter measurement.
Yeah. The problem...
For those of you, if you're unsure of what we're talking about, I declared last year, right after Christmas, maybe before Christmas, that next year I'm going all out on the light display.
Yeah, you're going to become Christmas guy.
I'm going to have the entire perimeter of the house outlined in lights.
Sure.
It's going to be beautiful.
Oh.
I'm thinking about doing the thing where you drive up and you tune to a radio station.
Yeah, those are relatively simple. It's
just a little transmitter.
Yep, that's it. And it's you know what?
Can I program it? Can I put my own music on?
I think so. I think you can.
Okay. Look for some Lizzo.
You thinking Lizzo and maybe Springsteen?
Oh God, if they did a collaboration,
pull up and actually you could do Springsteen.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Great.
Wind's whipping down the boardwalk.
That's a great idea. This is a tremendous
on
idea.
On repeat, just constantly.
Steve, I see a I see a box on the desk here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. Did we get some mail?
Yes! Hey, folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig.
Yes, this came in the mail actually the week before last from Mitchell Mankiewicz. Mankiewicz from Shenandoah, Pennsylvania. Now,
lovely area.
had he emailed you or messaged you? Because I wasn't expecting this.
Let me take a look.
And
I have
showed
spoken to Mitchell Pete's.
Yeah, it's got some weight to it.
That is heavy. Let's see.
By the way, I
checked in with Mitchell.
had to move this bottle of bourbon out of the way here. I noticed that you didn't bring the
next week
the glasses or the ice.
Again, don't know why I have to bring the ice, but I'll
because you have special round bourbon ice.
I mean, it's the same. February, Mitchell said he was going to send something, and again, we asked, I believe, in January for people to stop sending us stuff, and I believe since then. We've received
gotten more
mail than ever before.
By the way, did I Venmo you your $5 for this month yet?
No, please keep it. You know what?
From Billy Stacks.
Donate it to Cure for the Cure. Okay.
I swear that I get such joy when I open up the P.O. box once a month and there's that little check in there.
It's so beautiful. So yeah, this is a Steve and Kyle podcast. Ship priority. See, we've had boxes recently. I believe it was Trevor who had a box within a box. It's like
and then he had an envelope within an envelope.
Yeah.
That had. There was no reason that had to be
three envelopes
that I then had to pay $3 for a note that said like, "Hope you like it."
Like he thought that the USPS X-ray machine was going to catch money, I guess. So, but again, thank you everybody who's been sending us stuff. So yeah, this is okay. So this is for my.
Oh boy,
it's in a bag. I thought it was like bubble wrap. I don't know. Pull this out, Steve.
So you're expecting nothing.
Well, he may have mentioned it. I didn't look back far enough at what it was that he sent.
Oh boy, I think Hold on.
Oh. Couple of cigar cutters, Steve. Okay, that's a brown box. I think I'm remembering now.
Oh, boy. Henry Clay Warhawk Rebellions.
Oh, wow.
Wow. These are fancy looking.
Are they? They're all wrapped individually?
Fancy cigars. Yeah. Monte Cristo. Acid 20. That sounds like drugs. Look at this. It smells fantastic.
Just ignore that Surgeon General's warning.
Oh man, they really have to put it on their page. Check that out.
Oh, this looks outstanding.
You want to go smoke a stogue?
So are these?
I don't know. I don't know anything about
this.
Oh,
it's a cigar.
Yeah.
So, wow, in a tin can? Acid 20? That one has to have marijuana in it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Is outstanding. Thank you so much.
Nicaragua. Aging Room Quattro
Whoa,
Nicaragua Maestro.
Steve.
Is that what I think it is?
I mean, I don't know if it's the one that we mentioned, but look on the bottom there on the label. It is the number one cigar of the year for 2019, rated a 96.
So this is the Aging Room Quattro Nicaragua Maestro. Yeah, because I think that the one that we had...
it was the
like
Don Arturo, Carlos Aya the Shark.
2.
The number 2. That's right. We're still looking. Actually, no. I've been a terrible friend to our friends of this podcast. I believe our friend James DeRaid, who lives nearby, has them.
he's just waiting.
Yeah.
He's standing on his front porch with them in his hand.
And we were supposed to have them with him somewhere.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to be... It's not like we can be two guys who go hang out at a local park and smoke cigars. Like that's what gets the police called on you.
Yeah.
Well, that is
amazing.
That's
Mitchell.
outstanding.
Oh God, I've always wanted a cigar box.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh boy, what am I? Okay.
Don't break it. It's my
I'm
first
trying to
cigar
figure
box.
out how to close it, and I don't. I mean,
well, I think that I think they have to be packaged in a certain way. It looks
really?
Like
well, that's idiotic.
Looks like it may have been opened beforehand.
There we go. I think I got it. Nailed it. There's a little bit more in here, Steve. This is a very heavy box that appears the box did not maintain integrity during travel.
Whoa, look at that.
Wow, that is an ashtray. Oh, I didn't even know they made these. That is solid glass.
It is 2-inch thick solid glass. And it is, that's pretty durable.
Now, Steve, I know you don't know this because you're a cigar idiot.
Right.
So when you're supposed to, when you get the end off,
mm-hmm.
you're supposed to kind of touch the end in the ashtray and roll it.
Oh.
To get because you want to make sure it's even. You don't just want one stupid long awning on the top of your cigar like some slobby idiot.
So, I mean, if I didn't know any better, I feel like we're getting pretty sophisticated here. We have bourbon. We have cigars.
We got cigar glasses for our whiskey.
Do we crack it?
I mean, if you want it without ice.
Pass one of them over here. Oh, look at that.
Got some whiskey stones in there, Steve.
Is that what that is? So I throw these in the freezer?
I think thank goodness that's it, finally. This is the heaviest package we've ever received.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, they look like dice.
Yeah, whiskey. I have some at home, Steve. You're more than welcome to keep those.
Okay.
I have no need. So you're supposed to, you put those in the freezer
mm-hmm.
so they get cold. So instead of melting and diluting your whiskey, it chills it.
So is this
without diluting it?
Is this what I ask my old lady to have ready for me when I get home from?
So now, as you can see, the ridges on the top. That's where you would put the cigar. When you rest your cigar, you'd put it over the top.
Oh, so you rest it across.
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
Again, I'm trying to teach you to become a man.
Sure.
And again, your late 30s.
This is beautiful. Thank you, Mitchell.
That is outstanding. We got a couple of cutters for all the stogies here.
Oh yeah, pass me one of them. It's been a week since I almost cut a finger off.
Yeah. You haven't had to visit urgent care.
Yeah, look at that.
That's not great. You got yourself pretty good then.
Yeah, I definitely.
I know you said it, and I'm not saying I didn't believe you.
It doesn't look as bad
as it did.
Yeah, it's
going to leave a pretty decent.
I got
scar
a pretty
for
good
you,
divot though.
Yeah.
Look at the divot on that end. That's not going away anytime soon.
That is going to leave a pretty decent scar.
But once again, thank you, Mitchell. Appreciate that.
Just outstanding.
I think we have to at some point very soon. We have to sit out on the deck once I get the furniture put back out on the deck this year. Sit out on the deck. Some whiskey, a stogue.
No question. We have to have Cigar Cast. We've talked about it. Thank you very much. And James DeRade, I have not forgotten. I know you have that cigar that we so desired. After we thought Brother Mike was going to provide them for us, I believe he sent me a video of him smoking it, though. So I don't think that's happening anymore.
Yeah, I don't think that one's in the mail quite yet.
But thank you very much. We always appreciate that. And again, as we beg people to not send us anything and just maintain.
Except money.
Yes.
We have said we will gladly accept money.
Please keep all of this stuff. And if you're thinking, hey, I'll send them a package, don't. And save that for the Cure for the Cure coming up on July 10. Use that money for that, where we would like to donate money to a charity of our choosing.
Or again, just money. Money for us.
For us, too.
Earmarked.
That works, too.
Yeah, earmarked specifically for us.
Steve, we've got to get to two pretty important things. Let's start right now. We need to recap. We're down to the Final Four.
Oh, yeah. You know, when Fighter's Desire is playing, pretty serious. See, lyrics should come in there.
They do. They wait. Like a stanza. Is that the term? Too long?
Sure.
If you want to be the best, you got to be a fighter. If you want to be the best, you've got to show desire.
That's right, Steve. This past week was the voting for the Elite Eight of 2021 Poll Badness. Now, just as a reminder, the actual NCAA basketball tournament has been completed.
A month?
2 full weeks.
Oh, it's only 2 weeks.
So this week, we are down to the final four. Quickly recap the matchups last week. In a 4 versus a number 2 seed matchup in the Elite Eight, now that coronavirus is dominating the headlines, are the Sharks making their move? Advances with nearly 60% of the vote, defeating are the only people who agree with Steve on polls: sheep, dumb people, and dickheads. So one of two Steve appearances.
Still a bit offensive.
One of 2 Steve appearances in the Elite Eight gets bounced. In voting. Nearly 60% of the vote advances the coronavirus. The second matchup, a number 5 versus the number 2. Moving on is Sonny Bono, the godfather of the ski tree incident.
Wait, was that the 2 seed?
That was the 2 seed.
Okay.
54% of the vote. So listen, Steve, I don't want you to go home with your head, down in the dumps today. I want you to know that you put up a valiant effort as a number 5 seed. Will there inevitably be a war on the Zach with armies led by Steve and the Frisboers? You only lost 46% to 54%.
Oh, okay, so it was a close game.
So that moves the final 4 matchup will be, is Sonny Bono, the godfather of the ski tree incident, the number 2 seed, taking on the other number 2 seed. Now that coronavirus is dominating the headlines, are the Sharks making their move? Moving into the other side of the bracket, a nail-biter.
Really?
A nail-biter.
Okay, tight matchup.
Does this podcast end with a slip and fall lawsuit with 23 votes? Versus, is the Good and Plenty the Edmund Fitzgerald of the candy world, which based on the comments was regarded as horribly underseeded. So the Decision Den will take that into consideration for next year.
Next year, yeah.
With 53.5% of the vote.
Oh, boy.
Does this podcast end with a slip and fall lawsuit? Moves on to the final 4.
Oh, there we go.
Number 8 seed, a relative Cinderella, Steve. On one half of the bracket, we have 2 number 2 seeds. And now, joining us in the final 4 is the number 8 seed. The last matchup, another Cinderella story possibly. Number 11 seed, what are Frisbee people referred to as? Frizzers or Frisbos?
Now, obviously, we know the answer to that. With hindsight, they are known as Frisboers.
Yep. Took on, though, Steve, and every Cinderella story has to run into its own personal midnight, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. I've been saying that for years.
And in this tournament, for a lot of teams, that personal midnight has been the number 1 seed, were the Apostles known for chiseling the word boobs into rocks. Our foray into the religion category to get us considered for the podcast awards.
That is the segment we're submitting, right?
And in another dominating fashion, were the Apostles known for chiseling the word boobs into rocks, dominates the Frisboers, 62% of the vote going for the Apostles, setting up the matchup of the number 1 seed, were the Apostles known for chiseling the word boobs into rocks, versus the number 8 seed. Does this podcast end with a slip and fall lawsuit?
Oh, boy.
So you'll be able to find those. Those should be posted today. We'll post both of them. Vote the rest of the week. We'll have our championship matchup for your 2021 Poll Badness champion next week.
So we will, effectively blow right through March.
Yep.
Right through April.
Yep.
Into the beginning of May.
Yeah. Let me see that we'll be. Yeah, you will have your champion on May 4.
Which is nice because then you figure about a week later, we'll start next year's already.
Yeah.
And we might be able to get it done by the end of next month.
What do you say we do top 128 and we do like 2 a week?
All right. Do we have polls to recap?
We do have some polls to recap from last week.
Time to see how wrong everyone else is. It's poll recap time. Find the polls at Steve and Kyle on Twitter.
And Facebook.
That's right. Maybe we should do that. Just have you. Maybe I'll pull that.
Yeah. Tack it on.
Tack it onto that Melissa sound there. Do only terrorists hate cake? That's Steve.
I love cake.
Remember he said last week. Everybody remembers very fondly Steve saying,
"I love cake.
I hate cake, and I'm a terrorist."
Hate cake, love terrorism. This guy, Steve. That's me.
Boy, if you ever need a political sign to stick in the yard. There you go. 68% of the audience, Steve, said yes, only terrorists hate cake. Is 40 considered your late 30s?
Yeah, of course. Come on, we've been over this many times.
Quite the difference, as we've talked about in the past, between Facebook and Twitter.
Really?
Twitter, 65% of the audience said no. 40 is not considered your late 30s. Facebook seemed to get the joke. 55% of the audience said yes, taking into the averages there. It's about 54% of the audience, Steve, said no. 40 cannot be considered your late 30s.
Losers.
So 6 weeks or 5.5 weeks away, we will not be able to say you are still in your late 30s. Is it impossible to make an ice cream cake on your own? I don't know that I should have said impossible, because the idea is that there's no way that work is worth the reward. For what they charge for it at the store, the amount of work you must have to put into it at home cannot be worth it. It just can't.
Okay. Fair enough.
Steve, 60% of the audience said yes, it is impossible to make an ice cream cake on your own.
I liked somebody's comment about how Carvel invented the machine
right.
and hasn't released the patent or something.
Are the tasty videos on social media more misleading than 9/11 conspiracy videos? Keep your eyes peeled for that one to be in 2022 poll badness. And that, let me do the 82% of the audience, Steve, said yes, they are more misleading than 9/11 conspiracy.
All right.
And lastly, because, I'm disappointed again because our listeners are just
I think
sheep.
I know which one this one is.
Listeners are just dumb sheep. Is peanut butter in tier 1 of the most overrated flavors?
Of course not.
Looks like it's hard to determine. So we'll just have to.
I don't know. I think maybe
It was like 64% of the audience said no. Okay, it's not. So 36%, thank you. You get it. I'm not saying peanut butter is bad. That's not my point.
Sounds
I'm
like
saying peanut. Okay, you know what? There, I'll say it. Peanut butter sucks. Okay, is that what you wanted? It's overrated.
Finally got what you wanted.
It's overrated. Peanut butter is overrated. That was it for the polls last week. I didn't post any this week because the idea pad struggled for most of the podcast.
Hey, if you don't mind, I'm going to do some on-the-fly production, if you're okay with it.
No, please do.
Find us on Facebook.
That. And
Do you want to take an and from one of the and Steves and make it and Facebook?
Time to see how wrong everyone else is. It's poll recap time. Find the polls at Steve and Kyle on Twitter and Facebook.
Hey! Thanks, Melissa!
seamless.
Man, oh man, I can't believe you messaged her.
Yeah.
Find the polls at Steve and Kyle on Twitter and Facebook.
I'm just going to hit save on that because
Never need anything new from there.
we basically have every sound that we could possibly need to build our own robot voice.
That is just outstanding. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Yeah, we should just have her read the alphabet.
Yeah.
And like 30 of the most common words.
Yeah, I don't know if the alphabet would have.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just spelling out different words with like A, B, C, C, A, T. Why is she
THESTEVENDKYLEPODCAST. It's a little bit long to.
Just outstanding. It's beautiful.
So stupid. All right. What was I gonna say? Okay, so you said no new polls on Facebook.
Nope, none this
or
week.
Twitter,
did not
or
post
Instagram. But Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Steve and Kyle, and you can vote on the Final Four matchup of Poll Badness. It's still just a ridiculously stupid name.
Rolls on as we wind it down here. Again, an 8 seed, 2 number 2 seeds, and a 1 seed in the Final Four.
All right, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Steve and Kyle.
Yeah, thank you to Mitchell again for the lovely gift. We'll be doing Cigar Cast.
Definitely.
We'll make plans for that this summer, and I think we'll have to indulge in a cigar during Cure for the Cure. Maybe we can do like a lung cancer charity while we smoke a cigar. What do you think?
Might miss the mark a bit.
Get like a spokesperson on, and
yeah,
while we're smoking.
I think it's a poor plan. We're gonna have to think a little deeper on that one. All right, we will talk to you next week. See you later.